ends, and we're gonna watch the feedback come back, because that's just what God intended right now.
It's okay.
Welcome back to Couch on Fire podcast. Attempt number 4, 5.
Round 4. Fight.
Begin. Uh,
Hello. Hey.
I'm in
We
Sonic.
good?
I think we're good.
What?
I think we're good.
I
Things seem
think
to
we're good.
be working correctly.
Okay. Good. Well, hello there.
Hi. Hi.
We,
This has been
we,
fun.
yeah, we've had, some, see, you know, this is life. This is how professional we are. This is the stuff that I'm sure professional podcasters go through, but they never talk about it. I
At
bet you.
all.
I bet you any amount of money in this world. There's every now and then Joe Rogan and his team probably have people.
Well, I mean,
Well,
that's
he
literally
probably,
what Jamie is there for.
yeah, I was gonna say he probably doesn't do shit. He probably is like smoking a joint outside, and then his team's like, okay, we're good, like sound check. They're just psh,
Yeah.
psh, psh. So, but we're doing our own sound check because we're a local band.
Compared to the headliner, yeah.
Dude, before we start talk about what we were trying to talk about, we were just talking about something, and I wanted to bring this up. How often do you screen your calls?
Every call that I receive.
Every like what are the motions that run in your head? Like what happens? Like what are the things that your thought process when someone calls? Like what's the first four
And I
seconds?
and I quote, "Who in the fuck?" And that's it. That is, in fact, that's the entirety of my thought process before I hit the silent button. No matter
Well,
who it's coming from. If it's family, it's like, mm, this might be important.
yeah,
Is there any possibility that this is not important? If I know what this is walking in, I'll screen it.
yeah.
But if it's a rando, like mom or dad call out of the blue, I'm picking up every time, and I'm angry. I'm walking in angry. I don't like calls.
Well, I
Um,
feel like I feel like it's like I agree with you. I do, and it's weird coming from me. A lot of people don't know this, but I used to love talking on the phone when I was
oh,
young.
I
I know
remember.
Alex. I know you know. Well, I just like always stay in contact with my friends. I just really liked. I used to call Alex religiously, just to chit chat on the phone. I would force him to be on the phone and talk about things, and I'm sure he was
And
probably like, "Fuck."
well, that's where my dislike of phone calls actually came from, is because
Oh,
I would
oh
feel
me,
like I couldn't do anything else. Because
oh me.
if hey, Rob, are we gonna be
It's
honest with
okay.
each other?
Yeah, we're gonna be honest. That's fine. Just rip that fucking band-aid off. Damn.
Well, like really though, like what else were you doing at the same time that you were talking?
Absolutely nothing. So
Because that's the socially correct thing to do, right?
yeah. Well, see, the problem that I had was I have two brothers, but I did not live with them. I lived with my grandparents, and I was alone all the time. And I envied people that had brothers that were close to them, or just people in general close to them. And I had a list next to my phone growing up, and I would go down the list, and Alex was always first. And then I would go down the list, and then after I talked to you, I would talk to Tomas. After I talked to Tomas, I would call like my friend Josh, and then I would call my friend Sarah Rollins. I would literally go down the list and just start calling people, guy or girl. I didn't give a shit, and we would just just trying to chit chat. I later and it's funny because now I am not like that at all. Like I actually know when the conversation's dead for me to get off. Like and I still do like to call more than I like to text. Um, but yeah, I'm not as aggressive as I used to be. Actually, I go through the same emotions you do when someone calls. It's kind of like it's like I want to have my cake and eat too. I want my phone to be blowing up like I feel very important. But then I also hate when someone calls me or texts me because I'm like, what the fuck do you want? Like even though I
I
know what they want, like, I'll get a text from people like, come on, hey Rob, like a good friend of mine, Fred, would text me today. A lot of the friends that you probably know Fred. A lot of people that I've known, they see. us doing podcasts, they've contacted me recently, and they're just trying to like, oh, we were thinking about doing something like that. So how did you do this? And you know, and I'm all about helping. But I'll get a message, and then I'll be like, what the fuck does he want? Even though it's a nice message, it's just kind of funny.
I'm that person. I don't want to be on the radar, and if I get pinged too many times in a row, like in a family chat or something, I'll get angry, and I'll just shut my phone off. Like I just I don't want to have to constantly glance down at it. That's why I like the utility of having my watch, so I can like auto screen to determine whether or not it's important enough for me to actually look at. Um, because I
I agree.
just I don't want it's not that I don't want to participate with other people. I just like keeping to myself a lot. I've got like 4 or 5 really good friends, and that's it. And everyone else can fuck off.
Hmm.
Uh, it's not that I don't like you. I probably love you, frankly. I've got nothing but good intent for everyone I've ever encountered, save like 2 people. Uh, those 2 people can earnestly fucking die. Uh, however,
Yeah.
everybody else, it's just, whatever. And I'm just introverted and don't want to. That's not my bag. I'm not that social.
I I have this thing that I've always done, and I still kind of do it, but like I tend to, I over communicate. I'm an over communicator. I've always been that way,
That's fine.
and I stress out. Like the reason why I'm bringing this up is because literally, out the fourth time trying to record this, Alex and I, we xed out of the program that we use Discord, and we went back into it, and I saw that he was trying to video chat me, and even though I know in my brain, somewhere in my brain, I know this is for the podcast. We're trying to record this, Rob. Accept the call. I still looked at the thing like, should I answer this? What am I doing?
I'm
I don't know. I
expecting
just
the call, and I still want to screen it.
Yeah, like had a brief hit of dementia. Like I was like, huh, what is this? Like what
Hey,
is?
hey, watch yourself.
But I just think it's funny because I, you know, I do it with my wife when she calls me, and I'm just kind of like, now it was worse more before, but now after like 10 years, now when she calls, I normally do answer. um I do get very so a lot of people don't know this. I get anxiety when people text me when I drive, because I refuse to. I try my best not to text and drive. I really hate it. I've seen people get in a car accident. I've heard of people that I've known die because of this shit. So
Stoplight
someone will
is
text.
one thing, and anybody at a stoplight, I don't care. You're
Oh
not
no, I agree.
operating the vehicle. You're waiting. You're stopped. There's nothing. You got no other variables to be concerned with but one, and that's a manageable workload. Go ahead, text, change your music, do what you need to do, go nuts. Do not, while it is in forward motion, continue operating that fucking phone. Like, I'm at a point in my life where I'm getting ready to start throwing shit at fucking vehicles I see doing that shit. Like, no, fuck you, get off your goddamn phone. I
Well,
do not want you on that motherfucker.
see, that's where my anxiety kicks in. I'll get a message, or I'll get, so like I'm in I hate it, but I'm in a group chat for fantasy football, and I mute it now. It's muted 100. Well, it's 90% of the year it's muted. This is the only time of the year that I have it unmuted because we just had the draft. But when someone says something, my phone goes off. Now I have a smartwatch, and I'll look at my watch, and I'll see now I can see it on there. But before, like if they say something and my name's there, like I want there to be the red light. I want there to be a stop sign. But it seems like every single time you or anybody else in this world texts me or message me about something, every light is green. I never stop at stop signs. Like it just seems like the world's like, no, Rob, we want you to really like. I get really anxiety, especially like recently, I kind of had an argument with someone over text, which is the dumbest shit in the world because you can't express any kind of emotion because you
Yeah.
don't know if that person is sarcastic or not. But if you have an argument with someone over text, like that's where my panic attack comes in. Like I start having a mini panic attack because I need to explain myself, but I can't because I'm driving right now, and I don't. I wish my dick was big enough to grab the wheel so I can just like
Yeah, like a prehensile dolphin dick. Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah, but
Did you know that dolphins have prehensile peni?
no, no,
Now you do.
I live.
They wrap around shit like tentacles,
See, this
like
is
a monkey's tail.
so so I have a fear of dolphins, and I have a checklist of everything I'm afraid of dolphins, and that just added a. I'm just gonna make a little box and write that next to it, giant dick. And I'm gonna check that off, and that's why I'm another reason why I'm fear of dolphins. Thank you.
Uh,
Say that, but
sorry,
anyway,
but
it's
also
okay.
you're welcome.
Speaking of dolphins,
I hear they're all
hurricanes.
gonna die.
Okay, back to what we were talking about. Oh, geez.
Fucking
All right.
Dorian.
So I'll say this once again. But before I say anything, Alex, I think we should. I mean, the Bahamas right now. I don't know what happened in your existence for if there's anybody above there, Mother Nature, anything to hate you right now. Because I have my heart is broken because some of the videos that I've seen, like I
I
just
haven't
saw
watched him.
there is I just saw on Twitter. My wife sent it to me, a video of the airport in the Grand Bahamas or whatever. I mean, one of the main airports in Bahamas. And I thought they were joking. I thought they were just shooting the ocean, but no, that's the actual airport. It's 6 feet of water. It's under the whole airport's underwater.
The
And
airfield
then
itself is
the air,
standing 6 feet of water.
yeah, like clearly, where the tower is. They didn't. They showed that a little bit in the background. That's what kind of made me wow. That's really the airport. So, uh, you know, I understand there's a lot of disasters that happen, and it sucks. And last year I experienced not my first hurricane, 'cause we had hurricanes in Maryland, just not like
And
this.
they were Cat 2s, though. Like, that,
Yeah,
that's not the same
no,
threshold.
I know. Well, yes, last year Florence was coming straight toward Myrtle Beach, so everyone was flipping out. We left. It was pretty crazy, but then ended up turning and going into North Carolina and really didn't do anything to Myrtle Beach. So this year, my wife and I decided we're just going to make the call and stay. We're not in the evacuation zone, which is about 5 miles from the ocean, and then it goes different levels, but we're way over there, and we're probably never. We're by the college, so the fact that I can walk to the hospital in college, so that just makes me feel even more better too, because I mean it's not a
You have the ability to get to the resources that you need to
yeah
if something does go sideways, like
yeah
the
I
wind.
think I think it's about 2 miles to the actual hospital and 2.5 miles to the college because literally across the street from each other. And so it's not too bad. And I filled up my tank of gas, so I mean we can get there in a heartbeat. Um, I'm a little scared about the power, but that's probably the only thing. Just because my daughter, she relies on a lot of technology and everything else. We'll see what happens. I mean,
It's a bold move,
but
man.
yeah, we'll see. I mean, people are starting evacuating. Um, it's a kind of a ghost town right now, which is weird because all summer it's been tourist central, and I know it's the end of the year and it is Labor Day weekend. Happy Labor Day. What were you gonna say? Fuck England.
Fuck your lives across the pond.
Well,
You guys have
well,
Union Day or whatever it is over there, but we've got Labor Day now, and it's awesome.
this is Alex's opinion. I know we have some viewers over there. Thank you so much for viewing
Also, hi, Craig.
this. Yes, he's teaching over there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, but no, it just I don't understand why people act the way they do in with hurricanes. I was trying to explain to you the first 3 times we tried to do this.
Yeah.
Uh, when I worked in a grocery store, it's like we hoped for stuff like this because we sell stuff. Like our sales spike, and it's like I went to Walmart to get my daughter some Tylenol because she has kind of like a fever, and of course that oh, there's a hurricane. Why not give her a fever? Oh, thanks God.
It looks like God's trying to make an atheist out of you. I'm just saying.
I mean, and I have a story to tell you after this one. No,
Oh boy.
you will enjoy. It's a my wife finally went to church and she wanted me to go. Story. I'll tell you this after this.
Father
But
Murphy, no.
well, the whole hurricane thing, it's just crazy. So I go into Walmart and everyone's losing their shit, and I'm just sitting there buying ingredients for Taco Tuesday tomorrow. So I'm like, "Well,"
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, I'll get her some Tylenol, and I didn't need water. All the beer is gone, all the water's gone, all the bread's gone. I don't eat carbs, so yeah, all the now the eggs. Or luckily we got eggs a couple days ago because I do eat a shit ton of eggs. Um, but yeah, so everything else. I mean, it was just the way they act, and people were so angry. It was like Black Friday. I know we talked about it on an
Yeah.
episode of it's literally the same thing, and they're just like, and I was like, man, imagine if everyone just, it's gonna be okay. Because technically, if it actually comes up the coast and hits Myrtle Beach, it's not gonna be until Thursday, so you have time,
Yeah.
relax.
So what the fuck are you doing getting uppity and trying to get in people's faces on Monday
Yeah.
at a grocery store when all we're trying to do is get food and water? Like, fucking, we're all in the same boat, man. Relax.
Well, so I work today and I work tomorrow. I still have to pay bills. Even when disasters happen, and it sucks that they do, but the man still wants his money. I still have a mortgage to pay. You know, my
Yeah.
house could be blown away, and the bank's like, "Well, we'll give you a 15-day leniency." It doesn't really matter. They're
Good
still
luck.
gonna
Have
want.
fun, fucker.
Yeah, they're still gonna have, like, there is no, when you sign that contract for your house, there is no like, oh, if there's an emergency, we'll give you. There is 15-day grace period,
Well,
but that's it.
okay.
After that,
So that's what insurance and bankruptcy are for.
yeah, I know. Bankruptcy.
Unfortunately.
I spent my whole life trying to get out of debt, and
Yeah.
bankruptcy would be like the last thing I want to do. It's
Well,
literally
I
like,
mean, bankruptcy just cancels debt. So
isn't that wild that we have that ability to just say, fuck it, reset, mulligan.
on everything but your student loans. Literally
Which are,
any other debt. It could be a debt to the goddamn state or the Fed. You could bankruptcy those and say, I literally can't afford that. I just sorry. Gotta them's the breaks. And you file some paperwork and the court goes, yeah, you sure can't. Sorry, we tried to bill you for all that. Clunk, whoop, and you've declared bankruptcy and you're done. And you don't have to worry about those debts to the state or the Fed. But god damn it, those student loans, they'll stick right through them and go, fuck you until you die.
oh my god. When you say I declare bankruptcy, I think of that scene from The Office when Steve Carell is like, I think I'm going to do bankruptcy. How do I do it? I think you just stand up and say it. So he stood up in front of the whole office and said, I declare bankruptcy. And he just stood there. And the Oscar, the accountant, was just like, that's just not how you do it.
Let's fill these out.
um, but no, yeah, I don't know. So this hurricane, it's serious. Right now, it's doing something that I've never seen a hurricane ever. Now, I've only been on the earth for 33 years. I've only probably been paying attention to the news for 15 years. But it's at a standstill. It's not moving. It's a Category 4 with 165 miles an
And
hour.
sustaining damage where it's located.
It's literally over top of the Bahamas. It's so they said it would be over top of the Bahamas for 36 hours, and now it's about 48 hours, and it's going on, and it's literally just sitting there like, you know what? Fuck this place. Let me just clean it up a little bit more. And it's literally becoming it's becoming Atlantis right now. Like
Just
this is
saying.
this is a real thing. Like, and it's sad because the prime minister of the Bahamas right before the hurricane hit was just like, pray for us and do all these things. He's like, I really hope this isn't the last time you hear from me. And I just, I know he said that, and like in my mind, like his ass should have flown away somewhere else. You're the prime minister, but then again, he wants to be with his people. He wants to be
Captain's
on the
got to go
ground
down
level.
with the ship.
And I think that's where he's at. I mean, it's so bad. I know, and I bring it up because so like they say 75% of the money, like the economy of the Bahamas is from us, the
Touring there.
tourism
Yeah.
from the U.S. So, but if there's nothing there, like
Yeah.
they're not going to get nothing, and Trump ain't sending anything there because I mean, no offense. I mean, any president probably wouldn't send anything there yet, at least because we're about to hit damage in Florida, maybe Georgia, even here. So God knows what's going to happen. I don't.
I think Big O would have already been making promises.
Thanks.
And good
No.
on him for it.
Yeah.
Uh, W probably, uh, Bill probably would have waited till after
Yeah.
assessed the damage and then said like, we could probably squeeze that in the budget or whatever. Um,
Yeah. Because
I he, Bill always waited for damage to happen and then he'd act.
well, he was, he's what is it? What did Tony Stark say? He's an Avenger, not a prevenger. Oh no, no, not a
Yeah,
preventer. He's an Avenger.
yeah.
um, no, I agree. I think though, like, so if this hurricane actually turns off and goes out to the Atlantic Ocean, doesn't do too much damage to the United States, I would hope that we help them as much as possible because,
They're
you
gonna
know,
need it.
I mean, it's just, I know they're a small country and I know they probably, they're our allies, they're our neighbor, they're everything, they're our vacation spot. I mean, they're like,
Yeah.
these are people. It doesn't even matter. I think to, I feel like, I'm not trying to turn this into a political thing, but say if something happens in a country that's not our ally, but we sucked it up and went over there and helped them, I think that would be a brave, big chess move for us. That's just saying.
But
Just want to throw that little piece out there for you.
it is good geopolitics because you're sowing seeds of diplomacy where there was infertile soil before, and
Yeah.
you're fertilizing the soil for future diplomatic efforts. And peace makes everybody money. So, like, war is expensive, peace makes profits for everyone by a lot.
Now,
Unless you're Dick Cheney. Like,
yeah.
that's the one motherfucker. Like,
Well, it could backfire too, because then we try to like send. Then now this is going to get into the war, the past war that we just had.
which one?
Yeah, I don't know.
The six illegal
Afghanistan.
ones?
Let's
Okay.
go with Afghanistan. The
One of
fact
the
that
legal ones. Good news.
we we sent people over there to train people's soldiers to help them out, to give them resources, and it feels like it end up shooting us in the fucking foot. And I didn't even
Uh,
serve, so I can just only imagine what the people that the women and men that served in our country thinking, like, why am I training this person to you know work how to shoot this AK, how to
for
bury
them to
bury
just turn around and shoot it at me.
yeah, like, oh well, that's cool. Oh,
That's
thank
a
you for telling me about
surprisingly uncommon scenario. Thank God.
yeah.
However, however, uh, we've actually just reached a weird peace agreement with the Taliban.
Oh,
They're going to
oh,
stop trying to blow up the infrastructure and kill everyone there for policy disagreements. Actually, try broaching it democratically, and we get to bring 5,400 people home as
that's
part
pretty
of a
cool.
de-escalation in Afghanistan. Actually, and it's that level of talk that we needed to have 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, that nobody was trying to have. Like, the Taliban wasn't trying to have that talk. We sure as fuck weren't. We're like, Taliban, Al Qaeda, I don't fucking know the difference. Fucking bomb them.
Do you think
Uh,
they're just like sitting over there like, I'm tired. Fuck it. Let's just
well,
whatever.
well, some of these people really are in that position where it's, fuck this shit. I am
Yeah.
so tired of getting shot at. And
And what-
they are,
like,
and they should be.
yeah, like how long was the Vietnam War? What,
Less
9
long than
years?
this.
Was it 9 years, 6 years,
Uh,
7
it
years?
crossed it crossed a decade, but
Okay. So 10, 11 years. So, but eventually it's just kind of like, man, what are we doing? Like, we need to evaluate ourselves. And that's,
let's
I
look
don't
at
know.
what we're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah. And
And the Taliban has agreed to a lot of our, uh, I'm going to say demands,
yeah.
but they're conceding a lot, and they're getting a lot in return. For instance, legitimacy as as a socio-political force over there, um, because they decided they're tired of dying, and that I'm sorry it took so long, but
But
here we are, and now everybody's at the table, and we're playing nice,
Yeah.
which is such a net positive.
Now we're waiting for a hurricane to come fuck us up.
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Um, and Joel Olstein is locking his doors.
oh, that guy. Oh,
Oh,
jeez.
fuck
Oh,
that motherfucker.
speaking of church, I'm so
Yeah.
glad you
You like that
did a
segue?
full circle. That was a good one. I like homage. Yes, that was a good one. But yeah,
All
I was
right.
literally okay. So Kristen and I. So when we lived in Charlotte, I didn't really grow up religious at all. But so we decided before we had my daughter, we decided to go to a church. It was a non-denominational church, which basically means it's a guy reading the Bible and telling you his experiences with the Bible. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. Fucking hated it because it was like a rock show in the beginning, but I stayed because they actually liked the
That's so
guy. I
weird.
thought,
Can I pause on that phenomena? Because it's
yeah,
so fucking weird. What the fuck do you mean you've got a punk band frontlining at your fucking church?
and it's not
What?
one, not two, it's three or four songs in the beginning. Church is only like an hour long, so you have a set of 20 minutes. So now I have 40 minutes to finally buy into the idea that someone came down here and killed himself for
And,
well, kill himself, but he sacrificed himself.
and- Big
Okay.
blasphemy there. But yeah, you're gonna lead with such a high energy thing, and then go, and then let's have a lecture.
Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. There's a
Let's just
song with it when you leave too. There's got to be a go away song. Imagine if college was like that. That'd be cool. You know, like oh, we're gonna so
no,
we
no.
got our
It's
class
so
band
counterintuitive. It's stupid.
for 15 minutes. Okay, I know we're in astronomy, but for 15 minutes we're gonna listen to Pink Floyd, and then we're gonna talk about
That
some
one's
shit.
fair. That one's fair. Pink Floyd and astronomy, they go hand in hand. In fact, the guitarist is an astrophysicist.
Yes. Oh, wait a minute, wait a minute. And we're gonna put these little tablets on our tongue. Okay, nothing's gonna
Yeah,
go wrong.
right? Yeah.
You're gonna be positive.
Just
Okay, positive.
relax.
Feel like feel like you're melting. You will exit this way. Okay. But
Here's your safe
anyways,
space and your cuddle blanket.
yeah. So we're in Charlotte. We're going to this church. The whole music thing. Okay, I kind of bought into it. I like some of the things that he was saying. Okay. Well, for one, I'm a sucker for the Old Testament. I love the prequels, whatever you want to call them. I just love the story before the Jesus thing. So I just love that story. So we were talking about it. So I started going, and my wife. Then we had our daughter, and then she started going to the daycare, but then we stopped because we found out my daughter was autistic, and they didn't have the needs to take care of her because they kept complaining, saying that she was just crying in the corner, and then we put two and two together and everything else, so we stopped going. Fast forward to Myrtle Beach. We live in Myrtle Beach. We haven't did anything. My wife's like craving. I kind of want to go to church. I'm like, okay, I don't want to go, but she's like, okay, let's go, and I'm like, fine. So I go with her, but I said I'm probably just going to stay in the car and I'll let you guys go. So I walk in. Well, I she walks in first to scope out the church. Okay, so she found this cool church online. She saw the pastor online. Everything was cool. Okay, whatever. There was a good. It had a good. It's more for my daughter so she can socialize more. It had a good like schooling on the side where all the kids go, where the parents can worship and all the kids will go and they can
And
interact
get
with other kids.
brainwashed into a fucking cult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. But she wants her to interact and just kind of be with other kids, and I understand that. So
You take the
we found
positive
out
with the negative.
I'm trying my best here.
Yeah.
Well, wait, it gets very dark. Um, so she goes in, and so I'm sitting in the car with my daughter. Wife's in there. She's in there for a while. Church hasn't started. It's like half an hour before church. But this guy stands in front of the door, and everybody that walks in, he like rubs their back and shakes their hand. Everyone, and I'm like, no, I am not going in there. If he fucking
Don't you
touches me,
fucking touch me.
why you have to touch me? Okay, and he's touching little kids, girls, women, men, little boys, all these things. He's like literally. All of a sudden, I was like, oh, he must be the pastor. But why is you touching people? Like I don't understand. He even touched my wife. My wife. You don't even know my wife. She's the first time we ever stepped foot on this property. So she comes walking out. She's like, okay, I think we'll be good. So me, and Braylon walk in there. We skipped the guy because I told her about it, and we went through a side door. And everyone seemed nice. It seemed legit, but I just felt uncomfortable. Like you ever feel like sick, uncomfortable? I felt
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Like this is not a place I want to be. So we dropped off my daughter. My wife was like, I'm gonna go in there and watch them, and I was like, okay, I can't be here. I'm sorry. And she was like, okay, that's fine. She wasn't upset with me or anything. She just knows my views, and I just don't want this. I feel uncomfortable. It's making me sick. So I left. I came back, and I saw they walked outside. I came back an hour later, and they walked outside. They got in the car and everything, and she was like, yeah, everything was good. It was weird. There was no pastor. I was like, huh? And she said there was a band there, but then there was a flat screen TV that just popped down from the sky, and we just watched a guy on TV preach, read the Bible. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like,
So
so,
who is the schmuck?
well, I don't know who that guy is, but I just thought to myself, I was just like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, you go to church to look at a guy preaching
Read
to
from a
you, and
book.
yeah, you. So now she was like, oh yeah, they say this is a chain. So there's one headquarters somewhere else in the world, and then this is like a chain. I'm like, I could do this from home on Channel 9. What the fuck are
Dude,
you like? Why?
dude,
Why?
that's the most Big Brother shit I've ever heard in my life.
Dude, like that is. And I told her, I said, I told her, I was like, this is this is not how God intended it to be. If you really believe in God, he wants the people that he entrusts them. That this is the whole story that I've heard in my entire life. The people that are speak the word of God were somehow spoken to, and these people need to go to people, walk to their villages, and teach them and show them with their own hands. And this guy's on TV
To
doing,
the flock.
yeah,
You
like
have to be able to tend the flock. That's the core concept of having men in cloth
yeah, yeah.
at all.
So, So, needless to say, I mean, I told her she can keep going. It's up to her, but I gave her my opinion, and I feel bad because I think she kind of realized that it is dumb, and she hasn't gone since. And I know
It's the
she really
most
wants.
Black Mirror Big Brother shit I've ever heard of.
I was astonished. Like to this day, I'm like, I tell people all the time, like, are you kidding me? And a lot of people down here in the south, because there's a church on every corner, literally.
Yeah.
Down here, and they're like, oh, this goes on a lot. There's always like sometimes the auditoriums are so big that they put people in classrooms, and I'm like, I'm not watching a graduation, okay? Like I want to be front, I want to.
I'm here for guidance, motherfucker. Like, what?
So like, I just maybe it's because the way so I wasn't really raised Catholic or remember my father's side of Jehovah Witnesses, but even in Jehovah Witness, even that you would go to a Kingdom Hall and talk to the man the brother, he's called a brother, to the one that reads the passage of
Yeah.
Jehovah. So you would still like, but that's the whole point. Like if I have problems and I go to the church, who do I want to talk to the pastor, but I can't because there's no pastor at this church. they're just
Yeah,
they're just
who's officiating the marriage ceremonies at that point for that
exact
flock?
like, and well, if you saw the building, it's like an old movie theater, so it's like I don't know. It's not church-ish. So that
So
was a
you're telling
weird
me that's
moment,
not even on hallowed ground? Is what you're saying? Is that they set up a tent church
basically.
just
It
in the
looked like
middle of town because they could?
they rented a building and were like, you know what? I don't want to pay taxes, so we're gonna rent this building because that's
Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
just
The landowner said, "I'll rent it to a church so I don't have to pay fucking taxes on it because they're tax exempt."
exactly, that's exactly what's going on. So that's just I don't know. It just it makes I'm not trying to bash on any Christian or any Presbyterian or any Catholic person out there. I don't want to
I'll get
bash
down on
on
that.
any. I'm not trying to bash on anything, but I'm just going to let you know that is my experience. And if there's more experiences like that, I can see why people don't want to believe because this is ridiculous.
Do you, okay. Let's have a conversation about religion. Let's
Oh
do
my god.
this. Let's do it. Let's do it. Um, okay. I'll start. The big three are wrong. Period.
Okay.
They literally contradict themselves. They cannot be correct. Period. They cannot be correct. And there's 1,000 different angles. I'm not gonna pick on anything. Um, there's symbolic truths that we should all of us glean from the big three. Uh, God is love is a good one from Islam.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Um, Another point of contention here: All three of the big three are the same. They're three branches of the same deity.
Yeah.
It's a single religion, and it's uh, Jesus, followers of Jesus who accept he is the Son of God,
Yeah.
uh, people who did not accept Jesus as the Son of God and are still waiting for their Messiah, and
Yep.
people who follow Muhammad as a prophet of God.
Hmm.
Uh, all three groups worship the same deity. So
Yep.
I don't fucking understand why any of them are enemies. But Catholicism and Protestants fought for centuries too. So fuck it, whatever. I guess anything goes.
Well, see, I think it's the telephone game. You ever play that game? We played it in elementary school.
There's 100% of that going on. That's
Basically, at one point in time, there's the truth, but then the next person decided to write a little bit of the Bible. Then the next person decided to write a little bit of the Bible. Then the next person decided to write a little bit of Bible, which is true. Not one person wrote the
mhm.
Christian Bible. Um, so
And we can
basically,
trace historically who edited what,
yeah.
and we know what the outcome was. We don't necessarily know what the starting point was, but
Well,
we can
I'm
trace back
pretty,
and get a pretty good idea.
I'm pretty sure, someone was probably like, I'm gonna leave this out, but I believe that you shouldn't have sex till you get married. So I'm gonna write that in there. like,
Stuff like that happened all the time.
I just feel
Let's
like they just change things. Like it's just, and that's in every religion now. I mean, there's rules, underlying rules, things that are there, and I think they were just man made. There was no,
Not every religion has that.
yeah,
Uh, it's the ones we're most familiar with do because they're baked into the West. And the West is ideologically at war with Islam for some fucking reason. It's all the same shit.
hmm,
Avoid shellfish, which was good advice before we had refrigeration as a technology.
yeah.
You you'd just get sick. Like honestly, you'd get food poisoning and die if you ate shellfish. It makes sense. Um, the mixing of cloths. Where the
Let's
fuck did that come from?
real quick. Let's give it up to all the people that gave their lives to let us know about bad berries and bad food.
Yeah, right. The explorers, the
The mixing of
intrepid
cloth.
foodies.
You said the
Yeah,
mixing of cloth.
yeah. According to Leviticus, and it's a passage present in both the Quran and the Torah, but it's not regarded as a core tenant rule like it is in
Yeah.
Christianity. But the idea is you're not supposed to mix and match different cloths, like multi-blend fiber cloth. It's all supposed to be sourced from the same thing. Like wool is just wool, period.
Hmm.
You are not allowed to then wear cotton with your wool. You are either wearing cotton or you are wearing wool.
Damn,
Blends
bad
are
berries.
right out. I
Somebody's
have no
rolling over
idea.
their grave right now because
Yeah,
this is.
I have no idea where that came from. I haven't
I'm
looked into it. I haven't, and I should, but I won't. Honestly,
pretty.
like it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to believe whatever the fuck you want and to react accordingly. Uh, and that's the thick and thin of 100% of this is it's okay.
Hmm.
Whatever you want to practice, however you want to practice it, it's not my problem.
Well,
Uh,
see, I buy into people. Well, here's the thing about for me with religion. I am 100% convinced that people are really convinced that their God's real, and I 100% believe that.
okay,
Like if someone came up to me and they were just like, God is good all the time. They're just like, oh, praise God and all this
explain
other
Sodom
stuff.
and Gomorrah. That
Yeah,
wasn't a
and
good action. There were
I
innocents there. Period.
well, I believe that person truly believes in their brain that they're saying the right things, and I believe that, and I really do, and that's
And
everyone
they
has.
do. They do
Yeah,
believe
and
that stuff.
I know, and this is gonna and go not going against you, Alex. I do believe that someone did create something, created us. Someone had to, even though even
No.
even evolution,
Nope.
someone had to create the monkeys. Someone had to create
Nope.
atoms.
Ah, you're in a recursive fallacy. No, not even a little bit.
I wish I could see you. I get to see you rocking back and
Oh,
forth like, son of a bitch, no.
no, no, I got a big old smile on my face. I am rocking, don't get me wrong. You know the movements I'm making and the gyrations and shit, but
Well,
it's a smile.
when you get fired up about something, Alex always does this like little motion, like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm
No,
about to
and
drop,
I do the lean forward engagement thing.
I'm about to drop this shit on you. Here we
Yeah.
go.
All right, so I'll actually give some background information on me here in this regard because I don't get too personal too often on the podcast.
Story time. Story time with Alex. Here we go.
Um, so I was raised in an agnostic household. My parents, my mother's a Catholic, and she maintains her Catholicism to this day. Uh, from there, my dad was raised Catholic and had it beaten out of him by the nuns in his school. Uh, and he's like, no, 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 all loving God would permit any of this fucking behavior. These people are evil, and what they're selling is lies. And just rejected the whole thing. And he'll answer that he's either agnostic or atheist, depending on how drunk he is at the time. Uh, which is funny. Like, I get that. But he usually errs on the side of agnostic. What he says when he's sober is agnostic. Uh, and I was raised like with those stories that my mom knew of the evils and was like, well, there's still some good in there. We should strive towards the good. We're definitely not taking you kids to church because Father Murphy, no. So like she was cognizant of the evils, and good for her in that regard. Nothing but positive things for both of them in that regard. So I was raised in this agnostic household, and my bedtime stories would be like Native American myths, and like myths from India, as part of the Hindu tradition, and shit from everywhere, man. Like just this weird pan cultural mash of myths and stories and cool stuff were my bedtime stories. So I grew up with this like open-minded, like every culture's got something to add, uh, and I do feel that way. Like so they succeeded in that regard. But it was weird going through school, suddenly meeting so many like people who believed things. Yeah. Like you remember our school, like there was a very strong Catholic population in our high school.
Well, Maryland is a strong Catholic state. I'm
Italian and Irish.
I mean, it's because all the Polish folks that live there, all the
Italians, the Irish, the Poles.
Yeah, I mean,
even some of the Germans, they go half and half. Some of them are Protestant, some of them are Catholic.
There's more Catholic. I would think there's more Catholic churches in Maryland. I mean, because
it's like Catholic and then Baptist in that order. But all of our Protestant friends would like be quiet about it, like, oh, you know, I guess I kind of believe in God or whatever. I just don't think about it too much, whatever. Yeah. But our Catholic friends were like, no, I'm getting fucking confirmed. Damn it, I'm Catholic for life. Deal with that. And it's like, wow, that's interesting. That's a worldview I've never experienced before. So I started investigating it, and like I liked the ideas of what organized religion offered. Mm-hmm. There's a pinnacle. There's a person you can go to talk about your problems. There's a group of people. There's a sense of community. Like all those things are super valuable, and there's a singular moral framework upon which the whole community operates. Like that's a really valuable thing. So from that point, I was like, oh, okay. So I want what they have. I just don't like the dressing on the wall, basically. I like the structure. I don't like the dressing on the wall at all. So I went off and looked for something else entirely. Um, I tried. I looked into Buddhism. That any accurate telling of Buddhism is very hard in the West. um, um,
I know nothing about Buddhism.
uh, it like it's bordering on nihilist.
I
It's
know
really close to nihilist.
you rub his belly for good luck. That's all I know about.
That's
That's
one of
probably
those Western
yeah.
fuck ups.
I feel like people just made that up just to be, make it more, us.
it's it's a thing that happened, uh, but like we just picked up on that as the thing for
Yeah.
some reason, and like that's most people's interaction with it is that little cultural tick. That's such a non-issue for Hindus and Buddhists over in Asia. Like the of three of the major sects out of four of Buddhism regard that as actually super disrespectful. Um, yeah. So little things. Um,
Oh,
so I ended up digging around and I found myself in like the middle of this neo pagan revival movement. That whole shit, like, oh, bring back the old gods. Um, and I ran with that for a little while, but I kind of recanted it while I was enlisted. I was like, I don't have enough belief for anything, really. Uh, it's not my bag, I guess. But I like the cultural, structural milestones that it provides still. Um, and recently, I was watching an interview thing on YouTube, and a Jewish guy who is atheist, like his mother's practicing Jewish person, and he's rejected faith, but he's still Jewish. So he's culturally Jewish, but in fact he's an atheist, um, which is kind of a bizarre phenomena, but I like it. Like he was raised as a Jew, and he has all the Jewish touchstones, the cultural touchstones, or the moral framework, that sort of thing. And I'm like, that's the position I like. Throw out all the crap. I'll stick with
you
the
know,
mile with the touchstones and the cultural stuff.
well, I mean,
So
to
I
me,
kind of
I don't
work.
see, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't
Yeah,
see anything wrong. You know?
you cut the wheat from the chaff, right? Uh, so I kind of lurk in this weird like pseudo atheist, pseudo heathen space
Mhm.
where it's like I don't really believe necessarily. Wow, no, the
Yeah, I
light
know.
worked. Um, I don't necessarily believe in any metaphysical anything. Uh, it's possible. It's very possible. I know which ones
There
have
was
been
a
too translated. Those big three have been way too translated and played that game of telephone too much, and they lost something.
see, I like. All right, I'm gonna tell you this real quick. There was a comedian that had a so he's Catholic. I'm not gonna
Okay.
say his name because I'm gonna quote him, but I'm not gonna say his name. Um, he had a joke, and I thought it was funny. He ran into an atheist, and I every time I hear atheist, I love this joke. And the thing is, it has nothing. I have no problem with atheists. I mean, I love you, so I have
Yeah.
no problem with atheists.
No beef.
But I love this joke. I think it's hilarious. But he ran into an atheist, and he was just like, "Oh, when you believe, you think your soul's gonna go to heaven." And the comedian was just like, "Well, what do you think is gonna happen to you when you die?" He's like, "Oh, my body's gonna decompose into the
I know who
ground."
that is.
Yeah, you
Fuck
probably
that
do. And
person.
then he was like, "My body's gonna go into the ground, and a tree's gonna grow up, and
And then I'm
that's
gonna
where
cut that tree down, and I'm gonna build a fucking Bible out of it. Fuck Dane
yeah,
Cook.
like
Uh,
it is Dan Cook, yes. So,
yeah.
you know, but I do like that joke. I just think it's funny. Well, the way he tells
Oh,
stories,
it's
I do like.
hilarious.
Um, but yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. See, my views, I really no one ever forced anything down my throat, which I really enjoy. My father's mother, my grandmother, she did take me. If I had to say one religion that I went to the most, I did go to a lot of Jehovah Witnesses meetings. Like I did go to a lot of kingdom. That's they're called meetings. This is 100% I call it. Um, I
Well,
did go
it's a
to.
Christian cult, though.
Yeah,
That's the weird part.
it is. It's a form of it, but they don't believe that Jesus died on the cross. And so I did go there, and I did go to their Bible
What?
study, and I would say probably about 3 to 4 months. Now, to this day, here's something that no one knows. I talk about how like I really don't I do believe in a hierarchy. I do believe in something out there. But I don't go to church, and I don't sit here and say that Jesus is through me or give me the wheel. Jesus gave me
Yeah.
the wheel. But
Can I just say that's a retarded sentiment? Like in
what?
actual fact, Jesus take the wheel. Like
No, I know.
that's abused
Mhm.
rampantly. It is so ridiculous to just drop control over a thing like that and say, well, I hope this metaphysical being who's in charge of the cosmos is paying enough attention to me right now to help me out of this mess
Mhm.
that I created by letting go to begin with. Why? Why? That's irresponsible, man. Like,
I Oh, well, it's dumb. Yeah.
yeah. So our word aside, and blah. Anyway, carry on.
Well, what I was saying is, so I still, it's sad, but like, if something's going wrong, I do still sometimes pray, and here's the thing, and I pray the way that I was not, I wouldn't say forced, but when you're young, and that's why Bible school's so, that's why you really got to think about if you really want to put your kid into something like this, because when you're young, your brain is a sponge, and it's a
You're
big sponge. So
impressionable.
everything around you is like so when I was young, I took in all that. So to this day, I haven't been to a Kingdom Hall in probably, I don't know, maybe 26 years. I mean, I was probably like, I don't know, maybe 6 years
Well,
old.
that's the
I mean,
format
7.
you're comfortable with.
But that's what I know, and I know how to pray that way now. My wife's side of the family, every time we ate Thanksgiving, they would say prayer because they're Catholic and all this other stuff. And
The
but we,
Lord's Prayer. Yeah.
yeah, the Lord, I just, you know, I don't know. If honestly, if I had to pick one, this will be the last thing I'll say about religion. We can move on. If I had to pick one thing, I really wish Greek mythology was real more around than it is now. Because I love I
Hellenists
love
are still around.
well, I see. I love that. I love that. If I'm gonna go to war with my friend in a video game, I'm gonna pray to Ares. Like I
Yeah.
just wanna
You have a
like I want
specific guy that you can point to, like, you help.
yes, give me the
Thank you.
strength to teabag him when he is 13-2, so I can destroy him, please. Like
Yeah.
things like that.
Ares is good for that. So is Tyr in the Nordic traditions.
Oh,
And
geez.
that's the space I occupy culturally.
Huh?
Is that the Nordic set? So Thor, Odin, Loki, those motherfuckers. Uh, uh, Loki fucked a mountain. Can I just say that? Like that's canon.
What do you
Loki
think's gonna
fucked a
happen on the
mountain.
show? What do you think's gonna happen on this Loki Disney Plus show? He's gonna be
Uh,
fucking mountains. He's gonna
I
put them
hope
together
so,
and
man.
the
Uh,
peak Loki.
uh,
God.
weird shit came out of the the Nordic traditions, man. All of it's fantastic and just wonderful to read. I love every bit of it. Um, here's the thing that gets me though.
What?
So the group are called the Asatru. So like
Mhm.
you're loosely Christian. They're Asatru,
Yeah.
Asatru, Asatru. A lot of people go by heathen instead. It's just easier and less alien of a word. Um,
Can you use it in a sentence, please? Or sorry, you
like,
were spelling it like you're telling me.
well,
Asatru.
yeah.
And I was like,
Well,
please use it in a
just
sentence.
uh, I am Asatru. Boom.
Yeah.
Eat it. So like the Norway actually has specifically gone through this whole revival movement, where they're bringing the religion, its rites, its rituals, everything, like the whole kit and caboodle, back. Uh, and it's actually taking off. It's actually one of the number one growing religions on the planet right now. the fastest growing, I should say. And the core tenet, the biggest thing is we don't necessarily believe that the gods are an actual thing.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least, they're terrific metaphors to teach us good moral frameworks to operate in our daily lives. And that's
that is 100%. What that
fascinatingly
is
accurate, right? We don't
like
know that they're really real, but they're real enough to give us lessons and give us something valuable.
I am all for folklores. I'm all for telling your kids something so they don't have nightmares. And when a child comes up to you and says, "Where do I go when I die?" Let's make up something. We're gonna call it heaven. We're gonna call it your soul goes to a better place. And I'm just
Yeah.
saying, it sounds like some bedtime stories. Oh, geez.
And
I keep.
I mean, we even if we can eventually like measure the weight of a spirit or something,
Yeah.
something like that, and we figure out how to get in. What we're gonna find isn't gonna match anything we've written down anywhere. Period. There's just
I really just hope
period.
one day. Maybe it won't be in our lifetime, but I really hope one day an alien just comes to Earth and just say, "I created you guys. Why are you doing this?" Like
What the
what?
fuck is wrong with you? just patronizing.
My name is Star Lord. What?
Yeah, right.
Oh
Just
man.
I don't know. There's there's good to be gleaned from everything. At
Mhm.
literally anything. Um, your dog died. Now you got the opportunity for a new dog. Like let's silver line that cloud a little bit. Um,
The fact, like, here's a testament. Here's something that I'm going through right now. So the more stress I have, the more unhealthy I get. And that's just everyone. If you have a lot of stress, it kind of eats away inside of you. You hear these phrases, you feel that way. So like, why don't just live your life like, very good. Like you just said, your dog dies. Man, I really like that dog, but I'll get another one. Just kind of like, I
that
don't
can
know.
go too far.
It
That's
can.
an in moderation thing. Like you have to mourn. You have to actually process the problems that are in front of you and deal with them in a meaningful way and then proceed.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just running from your problems rather than bottling them up, and both are bad.
I like pushing them down and watching them explode one day. Dude, you ever have
Uh,
the urge? Like sometimes that when I'm at my job and I just see people, and sometimes I just think about what would I do if I just grabbed them by the throat and watched them turn purple.
I don't have sociopathic thoughts that
But
often.
but I never I know I am there is a thick line of
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
my thought and actual real happen. So I never really tell people things like this because they might think I'm freaking crazy. And I tell my wife sometimes like I'll say things like you know
Everybody has those thoughts.
well I wanted to bring this up because I know we're
They're
getting
normal.
into I know we're getting to this time. My wife's texting me. She's like, "How long are you gonna be?" Watch. Don't remember. Okay. Um. So one of the things I wanted to bring up. So Dave Chappelle, who's a comedian, he
I
just
fucking
came out
love
with a
that.
dude. He just came out with a new
So good.
a new
Sticks and
stand up, and
stones.
he does not hold back, and I love it, and I feel like we shouldn't hold back as society, and we should be honest, but it's the big debate is how people are taking things nowadays, and I really don't know where I was going with this, but I will say that stand up, but I literally like I've been doing so good, and then at the very end, my
Yeah.
ADHD's like no burp, like
Yeah.
just kind of turn off. But yeah, I truly did fucking forget.
It happens.
I
We'll
had
call
this
it.
whole I had this whole thing planned. I was like, this will be a good segue. You should check out his special. It's hilarious. He doesn't hold back. I've seen the documentary about. Here's a spoiler. I've seen a documentary about Michael Jackson, and he talks about it, and it's real. What he says is true. But he's saying things that like you think about. Oh, this. Oh, I remember a little bit. Here we go.
Okay.
Ready? I was sitting with my wife, and like I have these weird thoughts sometimes, and like the first thing that comes to my mind, like man, like there's too many people in this earth. We want a plague, and then there's a hurricane that just takes out pretty much all these islands. And I feel sympathetic. I do have empathy. I do, but part of me, that everyone thinks that everyone has a thing like, so luckily, thank God it's not me, kind of thing. Like, is it selfish for me to say I'm blessed that it's not me going through that? I don't know what I would do.
I've been toying with a joke for a little while now that consists literally of I support anti-vaxxers because I hate traffic. I hate traffic. Uh, I'm still working on it. I'm gonna get it there, but it's literally you should support anti-vaxxers. Let them make that call for themselves. We'll all have better commutes. It's grotesque. It's grotesque. I think it's hilarious though.
Oh man, but I know, but
Obviously, get your kids vaccinated.
No, it's true, but I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if I'm on board with the whole vaccination, this whole autism thing. But that's a whole nother topic. I think we broke into it before, but it's just like one of those things where I don't know. But that's stand up though.
Would you rather have a dead or an autistic child?
I would rather have an autistic child because she still should
vaccinate.
Yeah. Just one more thing before we go. And I'm gonna give everyone a chance to get off right now because I'm about this Dave Chappelle thing. So I need to talk to Alex about this for a second.
Oh, the alphabet car was so on the money.
Well,
being one of the bees, I can speak for a fact. Being in that car, he was dead nuts.
The open monologue about Anthony Bourdain. That was fucking harsh.
Oh my god.
He had a dream job, and then he hung himself. I understand, but people that are close to him are not going to like this. And no matter what you say, if you're in a public eye, you can say something that someone's not going to like on one side, but then someone on the left side is going to love it. It's just it's life. That's why we have choices. So whatever. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I love you.
Love you. Have a good night.